So we have the concept of judicial activism and judicial restraint, and they are opposites of each other. So judicial activism has a few different parts to it. First, judicial activism is when the judge makes decisions based on personal views, meaning they go off what they think is right, not necessarily what the law specifically says. Another form is when the judge makes decisions to fix a law that they consider to be unfair or unjust. So they kind of go on to say that this law isn't right, it's not morally right. They impose their own morals on the decision, and then they try and fix the situation by making a ruling. And finally, we have a judge makes the decisions that fit the changing world. So this decision might not necessarily be the law, but because the world is ever changing, maybe the judge considers the law to be outdated or not to apply anymore. And so they make a ruling that they think fits better with the modern world. Now, on the opposite side, we have judicial restraint. In judicial restraint, the judge makes decisions based only on the law. They try not to use their opinion at all, their personal preferences at all. They strictly go based off what is the law. What does it say? In judicial restraint, the judge tries to remain neutral. They try to be seen as kind of like, maybe you want to say, an umpire or a referee. They're not involved in this discussion. They're just there to be fair and impartial and make the right decision. They don't want to have a direct impact. They just want to kind of call it fairly. And this one, the judge makes decisions based on the original intent of the law. So again, the world changes. And so what the judge has to do here is to try and think what the intentions, what the idea behind the original law is, and then apply it to a new situation. All right, so we're going to have some kind of examples here of two friends who are trying to decide what to eat. So we have blue and we have green. Now here's how it works. Every Friday, blue and green hang out, and they always fight about what they want to eat. So blue wants to eat hamburger, green wants to eat pizza. Now, it's every Friday, and they always switch off. So one Friday, blue gets to order, and the next Friday, green gets to order. Now, last Friday, green ordered. This Friday, it should be blue's turn, but now they're arguing once again about what they should eat. So they come to you, and they ask, hey, can you help us decide? We'll do whatever you decide, but can you help us decide what we should eat tonight? If I was showing judicial restraint, I would pick the hamburger because the law says that they switch off every Friday about who gets to pick what to eat. So green got to pick last week, so this week blue gets to pick. That's judicial restraint. I am going based off only what the law says. I don't need any other circumstances. No. Last week green ordered, this week blue orders. All right, now we have another decision. Okay, same story. Green ordered last week, blue gets to order this week. Well, this week, blue wants a glass of water for dinner, and green's really hungry and he wants turkey. Well, if I were showing judicial restraint, I would say, sorry, blue gets to pick what they eat for dinner. Last week, green picked. This week, blue picks. This is judicial restraint. I'm trying to remain neutral. I don't get to pick. I don't get to look at his choice, which is a weird choice, right? It's an odd choice for dinner, a glass of water. How's that going to help anybody? but I am showing judicial restraint. I am not putting my own perceptions involved here. I'm just saying, nope, it's Blue's turn to pick. He gets to pick what he wants. So I am trying to remain neutral. I know that you might want turkey, but it's Blue's turn. Here's a slightly different situation. Now there's 3 friends. We have Blue, Tan, and Green. And they all want different things. Blue wants a hot dog, Tan wants stew, and Green wants a sandwich. Well, here I'm going to show judicial restraint. And I'm going to pick Tan. Here's why I'm picking Tan. This is judicial restraint because there was never a situation like this before. When they originally made this decision between Blue and Green, it was only 2 people in the group. But now there's a new friend that also eats with them on Friday nights. So I'm looking at the original intent of the decision. This is judicial restraint. Why is this judicial restraint? It's judicial restraint because I need to look at the original decision. The original decision was that Blue and Green would switch off every weekend so that each friend would get to decide what they want to eat. Well, now there's a new friend, Tan. And so going off that original intention that each friend gets a chance to order what they want to eat, I have included Tan in there. So originally they weren't, but now I've included Tan, and that's why I chose that Tan got to choose what to eat. Now we're going to move on to some judicial activism. So same story. It's Blue's turn to order. Green wants pasta. Blue wants tacos. This would be a form of judicial activism if I said, we're picking pasta. Now, why are we picking pasta? We're picking pasta because I don't really like tacos and I like spaghetti more, so that's why we're picking pasta. That is judicial activism. That's based on my personal views. Even though it should technically be Blue's choice, I picked pasta because I like that more. That's my personal view of each lunch or each dinner. All right, here we go. Now, Blue wants chicken, Green wants a salad. Now this, I'm listening to kind of some different circumstances here. Green just told us that he wants to go vegetarian. He wants to stop eating meat. But Blue wants chicken. Judicial activism would be me picking salad for Green and then saying Blue can no longer choose an option that has meat in it because Green wants to only eat vegetarian. So sorry, Blue, you don't get to pick what to eat if there's meat in it. I'm kind of adding something into this agreement. This is judicial activism. I don't think that it's fair that Blue gets to force Green to eat meat since Green wants to only eat vegetarian now. So I'm making this decision and I'm also kind of adding something in there, right? I'm saying I need to fix that. Blue, you cannot make Green eat things with meat in it anymore because Green is vegetarian. Okay, here we are. Same story. Blue wants to eat sushi. Green wants to have steak. I guess the vegetarian thing didn't last very long. Now, this is judicial activism. I choose steak. Now, why? Well, even though Blue wants sushi, the sushi place doesn't deliver, and the steakhouse does deliver. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't think it's safe for anybody to be driving over and waiting at a restaurant. I think they need to be able to have food delivered. So even though it's not necessarily included in the original decision between the two, I'm showing judicial activism. I'm trying to make a decision that fits this changing world. The world has changed. Sorry, Blue, the place you want doesn't deliver, and the place Green wants does deliver. So I'm making the decision that we should get steak because they deliver, and I don't want people going out in a pandemic. So that's our third case of judicial activism.